was made for everything about the man. This means that when a man buys a car, she drives it. When he receives a bonus, she shares it. It's like when a man takes his wife out for dinner and says, "What do you want? I'll buy you anything on the menu." After they order and their meals come, she looks over at his dinner and says, "That looks really good." So she ends up eating his dinner instead of the one she ordered. Does that sound familiar? Whatever the man has, she was made for it. My wife was made for everything that I have. Her mental faculties were made for me. Her physical body was made for me. Everything in the female was made for the man, including her intellectual ability. How many men believe this? A woman's mind is an awesome machine. God gave the woman a way of thinking that will amaze you. If you take a little thought, a little idea, and drop it into a woman's mind, you'll never get a simple idea back, you'll get a fully developed plan. Do you know why many men turn the running of the home over to their wives? A woman can take a mortgage that's overdue or a business that's falling apart and say, "You sit down, let me handle this." She knows how to get you through these things. She can dig you out of a hole. The sad thing is that when some men get out of the hole, they proceed to walk over their wives. The unique qualities and contributions of the woman must be valued by the man. The woman's interdependence. In the Lord, however, woman is not independent of man, nor is man independent of woman. For as woman came from man, so also man is born of woman. But everything comes from God, 1 Corinthians 11:11-12. Everything comes full cycle. After all that Paul had set up to this point, he then placed both male and female in the same spiritual position. He said, "In the Lord, both man and woman are the same." Woman came from man, but no man comes into this world unless he is born of a woman. God has ordained both the spiritual and the physical realms, and each has its purpose. Again, spiritually, women and men are equal. My wife and I are equal before the Lord. She can go before the Lord and get the same spiritual help that I get. She doesn't need to go through her husband. That is why, if you are a single mother, your spirit can go to God and do business with Him. You don't need to get permission from man to go to God, you have a spirit man within. The essence of the matter is this: in the spiritual realm, there is no difference between men and women, but in the physical realm, there has to be the proper relationship of submission. I was speaking to a precious lady who has a management job at an insurance company. She told me, at work, I'm the boss. Yet when I walk through the door into my home, I'm a wife. That's a smart woman. Of course, you can be the boss at work. But when you get home, you're a wife. That means you can't treat your husband like your employees at the office. An altogether different authority takes over. You can preach all you want, prophecy, rebuke the devil, and cast out 20,000 demons, however, when you go home, your husband is in authority. Yet he has to understand that he's still supposed to be in the Lord when he's in the home. A woman should not be subjected to pride and foolishness from her husband when she is in the home. The woman is physically different. Fourth, a woman is unique because she is physically different from a man. She is a spirit man with a female body. At work, I'm the boss, but at home, I'm a wife. The woman is delicate. 1 Peter 3:7 says, "Husbands, in the same way be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner, and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life." The woman is unique because she is a physical being who is weaker. The word weaker here isn't referring just to physical strength, because many women are stronger than many men. Women can put up with much adversity and still survive. Many men couldn't handle what women handle. I like to translate the word weaker as more delicate. Peter was saying, "Husband, treat your wife with consideration and respect, because God designed her in such a way that she is delicate. She is very, very fine." Remember that God took a scoop of dirt with which to fashion the male, but He built the woman. God built the female a little more elegantly. Her shape is a little more refined than a man's. He designed her delicately. I believe this also refers to the delicacy of her soul. The expression of a woman's soul is very refined because of her purpose. She is more sensitive. I believe that the definition of weaker should go even deeper to indicate that the woman is more absorbent. She can absorb things more easily than a man, because she was created to absorb. That is why God told the husband to be careful what he stimulated her with, to be careful how he treated her. Why? She is so delicate that she absorbs everything around her. The woman is a wound man. Some women want to be the same as a man both spiritually and physically. However, God didn't make the female to be the same as the male. He made her physically different to fulfill a purpose. Purpose determines design, and design determines needs. A man's physical purpose and a woman's physical purpose are different. If men and women don't understand this, and they try to become the same, there are going to be problems. God designed the female to be physically different from the male, so that she could bear the offspring of the race. She is the wound man. She was meant to receive the seed of the man, conceive, and carry the child until it is born. In this way, God entrusted the woman with a major role in the furtherance and survival of the human race. The purpose of something determines its design, and God designed everything to fulfill its purpose. If you know the purpose of something, you can appreciate why the design is different. The female's purpose is distinct from the male's purpose. She is designed to bear children, and therefore God made each of them unique. The woman's nature is inborn. What has been happening in our society, however, is that people have been trying to change their designs. There are women who want to be like men, and there are men who want to be like women. God is saying to them, you don't have the circuits for it. To pursue these desires is the equivalent of short-circuiting. People are living static lives in which they don't know their purpose. They can't appreciate why people are different. Imagine a car battery saying, I want to be a carburetor, and trying to function as a carburetor. The car won't work. Batteries and carburetors are different because they have different functions. Although their differences make them valuable, a carburetor isn't anything without a battery. No matter how they might feel about one another, they still need each other, because they are both integral parts of something larger, the car. We must understand that males and females are all part of something larger, called man. Yet they are different, because they have different purposes. We shouldn't confuse numbers with normalcy. If you are not sure that you are a female, God has provided you with physical evidence, so that you may know. If you were born with a female reproductive system, you are a female. If you were not, you are a male. How you feel and whom you prefer to sleep with are not relevant. These things don't make you a woman or a man. Your feelings do not bring dignity to that which is unnatural. The fact that many people are doing something does not mean that it is right. We shouldn't confuse numbers with normalcy. If enough of us are abnormal, well, believe that we are normal. Don't let anybody fool you into believing that you're something that you're not. You should look to your design. The male is designed to provide seed for the purpose of procreation. Therefore, if you are not sure that you are a female, check to see if you were meant to provide sperm. If you are not, then you are a woman. Whether or not you can provide a climax is not the issue. If you are not a male, you should live as the woman you were designed to be, so that you can fulfill your true purpose. Forget all the psychological, emotional, and sociological explanations. The only qualification for being a specific gender is to be born with the organs that enable you to fulfill the purpose of that gender. Having an operation and changing your sex organs does not change your nature. If you change your sex organs, it is just like having a kidney transplant. You are still who you were born to be. If a male receives a female's kidney in a kidney transplant, he's still a man. So spiritually, we deal with the spirit man within us, but physically, we deal with male and female. God is so wonderful. He set things up so that the relationship between God and man is intended to be expressed through the relationship between male and female. In this way, what is unseen can be understood through what is seen. The Bible refers to Jesus as the bridegroom and the church as his bride. God is giving us an earthly and physical illustration to communicate the spiritual truth of our relationship and unity with Him. Therefore, we need to appreciate our creation as males and females, designed specifically for God's love and His purposes in this world. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2:10. The woman was placed in the garden. Fifth, a woman is unique because God specifically placed her in the Garden of Eden along with the man. In Genesis 3:8, we read that God walked in the garden in the cool of the day in order to meet with Adam and Eve. The garden represents man's relationship with God, the place of fellowship. A woman cannot fulfill her purpose unless she is in relationship with God. You cannot be the kind of woman you are supposed to be outside of God, any more than a man can be anything outside of God. Any woman who is outside a relationship with the Lord is a dangerous woman, just as a man who is outside a relationship with the Lord is dangerous. You can be who you were created to be, and you can fulfill the purpose you were meant to fulfill, only as long as you remain in the garden of fellowship with God. A female cannot become what God intended unless she is filled with the Holy